Basically, what we're doing here tonight is we're going to be talking about factoring. Okay. Now, I told you guys the other day when we were going to do this that I don't know anything about factoring. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know the science of it. So I figured what better way for me to learn is to pull one of the experts into the mix and have him explain it to me. And then that way he in turn can explain it to you as well. So I want to introduce, I got my buddy Danny over here from TBS Factoring. What's up, Danny? Say
What's
hello
up,
to everybody.
How you doing? How you doing?
So, Danny, just real quick, I mean, everybody knows who I am, so why don't you tell everybody who you are and how long you've been with TBS and all that good stuff?
Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm Danny. I've been at TBS 8 years, born and raised in New York City, and then I moved over to Oklahoma City.
Whoa. Hold on, Danny. I don't mean to interrupt you. Hold on now, Danny. Wait a minute. Also, hey, in the comments, I'm reading the comments over here. Can do me a favor, guys. Can I get a thumbs up emoji for a sound check? I just want to make sure everybody can hear everybody good, and we're all good, and then we'll continue on. But Danny, you said you're from New York City. I was born in Queens in Ozone Park, and I grew up in Jersey. So where were you born in New York?
I was born Low East Side, Manhattan, born and raised, and then I was back and forth from the Bronx. Out in
the Bronx, he says. Oh, snap.
Yeah,
small. So I guess me and you are gonna have to get together to play some wall ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can definitely.
See,
any day, anytime.
Only a city boy New Yorker knows what wall ball is.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't even know if you could find. I wouldn't. You know, to this day, I remember as a kid, somebody in the family always had the little blue ball.
Yeah.
I don't know where you would go. Any sports? I don't even know what's that ball called? Like, where would you get it?
I mean, back at home, they call it a handball. I mean, because that's pretty much
handball. Yeah.
I mean, that's all it was used for. I wouldn't even know where to go. I mean, back at home, you go to the deli and you get it there. I mean, I wouldn't know where to get it out here.
Is that like, okay, so I know we call it wall ball or handball, but I know a lot of when they play with the tennis rackets, they use tennis balls up against the wall.
Right.
But when you play handball, like I said, I don't. If you go to any sports store, does anybody know in the comments? Can we get a thing in the comments where we can get a wall ball from? The little blue ball, known as a wall ball or a handball. Anyway, racquetball. There's someone saying racquetball. Okay, cool, racquetball. All right. But yeah, so that's cool that you're from where I'm from.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
We got something in common. So yeah, so this is cool. So what nationality are you?
Puerto Rican.
I'm Italian, so we can get together and put one hell of a barbecue together.
Yes, sir. We sure can.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting. When I heard New York, I was like, I thought it was New York. I just wanted to, when I heard the accent, and then you said it.
Yes, sir.
I was like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yep. So yeah,
tell everybody a little bit more about your experience with TBS Factoring and what you do over there.
Yes, sir. So I moved from New York, landed TBS. I was in Oklahoma 3 months, landed TBS, and I've been at TBS since then. Be 8 years in September. And I've done a little bit of everything. I've done a little bit of collections. I've done a little bit of factoring. Just actually worked the field. Now I'm doing a little bit of sales. So I just kind of been around the block. Done a little bit of everything when it comes down to the transportation business. So know a little bit of everything.
Cool. All right. So let me do this here real quick. Oh my God! Shut up, stupid phone. Just send this out to Facebook real quick. Paste. Yeah, if you guys could do me a favor and share this video out real quick, so we can get as many people in here so they can learn something cool.
Sure.
That'd be great. Copy link. Paste. Send. There we go. Then I'll pull up the agenda here real quick. All right, so like I said, you guys, Danny's in the house from TBS Factoring.
Yep.
I'm going to be learning about factoring. hopefully you guys will learn something too, because like I said, I don't know nothing about factoring. I'm not trying to come on YouTube here and be like, well, guys, this is how you factor, or this is what you need to know, and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know nothing about factoring, but we're about to learn.
For
So
sure.
pull this back up here. So let's talk about how does it work? What is it? Explain it
So
to me.
pretty much, well, factoring is, I mean, it's to avoid any type of cash flow. So usually when people get their authorities and just kind of get up and running, you know, they're having to bill, you know, their broker, their shipper, or whoever they're running for, and then having to wait based on, you know, the way the business works. And
Right.
what factoring eliminates is any type of cash flow. So you pretty much, we buy your invoice, pay you in advance, and then we pretty much take all the hard work that you got to do. We take that off of your shoulders to allow you to pretty much do what you do best, which is drive and pretty much stay on the road.
So basically, it's from what I've heard so far and what I've learned over the last couple of months about it. It's basically, so if you're starting out as an owner operator and you have your own authority or whatever, and you don't have a lot of capital,
Right.
To cover all the different, you know, costs and loads and everything,
Yep.
that's where you guys step in and do the factoring aspect of it, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we pretty much help with, I mean, you know, a lot of things. I mean, with the trucking business in general, it's expensive. You know, wear and tear on the truck, tires, oil changes. I mean, you name it, they're all expensive. So
Right.
to
Right.
keep your, instead of you living off credit cards or dipping into your own bank account, I mean, that helps you with just the cash flow overall across the board. And I mean, the way we do it here at TBS, we do a little bit of everything. I mean, we try to really help you with establishing your business, making sure you don't have that issue. And then with especially owner operators that are just getting started, I mean, we literally guide them from start to finish, from getting the numbers to, I mean, getting connections, getting dispatchers to avoid any type of, you know, delay on, you know, brokers not wanting to work with you, things to that extent. I mean, we do a little bit of everything there at TBS, and then including the factoring as well.
So like, okay, so break it down for me real quick. So let's say I'm coming on, I got my own authority, and I want to use TBS factoring. What are some of the benefits of me using TBS factoring over some other factoring company?
Our biggest issue, the biggest pretty much pro about us is there's no long-term contracts. I mean, and I don't know about you, but with me, I don't like long contracts in general. I don't like to be stuck with someone, especially if there's, you know, TBS is family, okay? It's a family-owned business. Mom and pop are in the back. I mean, they used to be on the floor with us. So, and they used to be truck drivers as well. I mean, they know the business. So the best part is no long-term contracts. There's really no fees across the board. You've got no monthly requirements. And then you have the freedom to pick and choose which brokers you want to factor and those that you don't want to factor, even if both companies have good credit, they're both factorable and all. But if one company is going to pay you in 2 days and the other is going to make you wait 30 days, you can actually build that company that's going to make you wait 2 days and then just get paid in full, where that company that's going to make you wait, you factor it, get paid now. We take care of all the rest of the billing. If there are any legal issues, things to that extent, we take care of all of that, you know, for you, to where you don't have to worry about any of that.
Now, also too, if I, you know, speaking with Landon and you know the rest of the guys over there at the Truck Boss Show, I overheard, you know, that TBS will help you set up insurance and all this other stuff. Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the extra stuff that TBS is going to help you do?
Yes, sir.
I think they said setting up your authority actually as well. So if you can elaborate on some of the details of what TBS is going to do to help the driver get set up and going.
Yes, sir. So pretty much what we do is, I mean, when we get a call, saying you're calling me right now, you call me and say, hey, Danny, you wake up today and say, all right, I want to get my authority. I want to get rocking and rolling. The first question I'm going to ask you is, I mean, one, I'm going to say congratulations that, you know, you got up and you want to enter, you know, the transportation business. The second question I'll ask you is, do you have your own truck? Without a truck, I mean, you pretty much can't do much.
Right. One of the guys here in the comments is asking about quick pay. So what is how, like, some of the brokers are using quick pay, so there's really no need for factoring. So what's the difference between quick pay and or factoring? Where's the
So a lot of companies, for example, like, a lot of the bigger companies, C.H. Robinson, TQL, they do offer quick pays. Okay.
Okay.
But the quick pays aren't necessarily a quick pay. Pretty much what they're doing and what they make you do is they'll say, yeah, we're going to quick pay you, but they're going to make you wait 5 days or 7 days. Where
So that's
it's not necessarily a quick pay,
that
but
doesn't
they'll
sound
give
quick
you
to
a
me.
lower.
7 days.
Right. So but what we'll do is we'll actually match that same rate that they just offered you to pay you within 24 hours.
Okay. So okay. So
So for
basically,
example,
okay.
they're
So
going to charge you a quick pay.
see, to me that sounds quicker than. Well, I mean, if in fact TQL and the rest of the load board brokers or whatever are going to make you wait, now does TQL and the other ones like CH Robinson and them, is it quicker than 5 days, 7 days, or is it 24 hours or?
No, it's about 5 days. And for example, so they'll say, well, I'll charge you a quick pay at 3%, and you'll get paid in 4 or 5 days. Where I'll tell you, hey, I'll match that for you, and still pay you within 24 hours.
Okay, I'm hoping that we answered the question there in the comments. We're going to open it up here in the comments in a few minutes here. We're going to start taking questions and stuff. I just wanted to kind of go over the dirty details about factoring. So tell me more. So what? Okay, so why TBS and not some other factoring company, for instance?
So the reason why I would say definitely come to TBS is because, we're black and white. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you how it is right from the door, and I'm going to be realistic with you in a sense of we're like family. We're going to bump heads. Things happen. You're going to send me a bad copy of a bill of lading or something to that extent, and we may clash because I know you're on the road. I know you need your money, but I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Okay, yeah. So because I've done my research, on TBS as a company, and just like any other thing out there in the world today, you're gonna have bad reviews, you're gonna have good reviews, you're gonna have so reviews, and I actually have a buddy of mine that used TBS factoring in the past and had nothing but good things to say, but also had said that there were some hiccups here and there, but they got sorted out in a very timely manner. So. I mean, it's just like anything else. You're going to have problems. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have delays and stuff like that in situations. But what else? What else can you tell me? Why TBS would be the go-to factoring company?
Like I said, mainly like most people worry about fees. Like pretty much the fees of invoices. Things to that extent, which we don't charge any of that. Pretty much the only fee you're going to see is your factoring fee. And then your payment fee, which is either 3, 5, or 12. 3 for ACH, $5 for your fuel card if you want to put the funds on that, or a $12 wire transfer, which will get your money within 2-3 hours. That's pretty much it. Those are only really fees that you see, unless you request a fuel advance. Fuel advance, then it's different. It's just a different ball game. But we actually, we put you on a fuel advance program. Some people use them, some people don't. And it's flat fees, which is either $20 for 40% of the load, or $25 for 50% of the load. But there is no cap on that advance. So if you got a $10,000 load and you want 50% of that load, I'm going to charge you $25, but give you $5,000.
Okay, I mean, okay. Also, let's go back a little bit here to what we were talking about before. So let's say I call you up. I heard about you from so and so, the little guy show on YouTube or whatever.
Yep.
And I have my truck. I have my trailer. I have a company that I'm signed on with. That is, or whatever. Or I have my own, or I'm looking to get my own authority. How does TBS help and or assist in getting your authority, getting your plates, getting your insurance, and all that other fuel card? Give me the spiel on that.
I got you. So pretty much, once you call, I'll just kind of go over a couple things to verify, what you have. The truck, make sure you got the company name, the EIN number, just the very, very basics.
So that's what you need. You need to have a
company name,
have a truck, an EIN, and what else?
Company name.
Okay, so three simple things, guys. You need to have your truck and trailer or whatever, and then you need an EIN, which is simple. You set that up, on the internet. It takes 10 seconds. Well, not 10 seconds, but you know what I mean. And obviously the company name tied to that EIN, and obviously a bank account maybe as well, obviously, right?
Yeah, you're eventually going to need it. I mean, because I mean, the long term. I mean, we do the processing for free, where most companies don't do that.
What do you mean by process? What do you mean by process? Processing what?
Meaning that, like, so for example, if you go through the FMCSA to actually get your authority, they're going to charge you application fees and things to that extent.
Okay.
Where we don't do any of that. We only charge you pretty much the state filing fees, which is what the FMCSA is going to charge you, and then tax, but no processing fees, no application fee, nothing to that extent. So I mean, you're looking at $310.50 to get your authority.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. And
Okay.
then,
So now what else? Okay, so you're going to help me set up the whole
we
deal.
kind of give you the heads up. We give you the heads up on what to expect. And hold on one second.
Totally epic. All right, so we were talking about what TBS factoring is going to do for you once you got your truck EIN, company name, and preferably a business checking account.
Yes, sir.
Now, because I know that when I did my EIN, I had to have a checking account tied to it. So if you don't have a checking or a business checking account, how does that work?
All right, so I mean, we try to tell you to at least get a checking account or at least get the process going, because I mean, if or when you're getting ready to get paid, I mean, they got to deposit that money into someone's account. So, I mean, to be more common sense, I mean, you'd want to definitely try to go and get some type of.
So if you don't have a checking account and you get set up with TBS, I mean, where's that money going to go? It has to go into somebody's account, right?
Right. It has to go in somebody's account. So, I mean, we got to know.
So basically the requirements are truck, EIN, company name, and checking account. What happens after that?
All right. So pretty much, I mean, once we get your numbers in 3 to 5 days. Okay. And then we give you the heads up on a lot of the scam companies that try to get you to buy things in advance that either you don't need or don't need at that moment. And what we do is we prepare you literally to be careful with what companies they're going to reach out to you to, like I said, to try to get you to buy things and scam you for money.
Okay. And then about setting up the authority with the FMCSA and, your insurance and the registration. Talk more about that.
Right. So once and then I prepare you to let you know that the FMCSA will send you a registration letter. You'll call them, verify that you applied for the authority and it wasn't somebody who stole your identity. And once you complete that registration, I mean, you will be in a 21-day waiting period. So for 21 days, you're technically unauthorized to cross state lines or pretty much really maneuver anywhere until after those 21 days.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And then, I mean, once we do that, and I just kind of give you a heads up, then I'll, let you know, hey, send me the information for your truck, your make, model, and VIN number, send me the information for the trailer, and then we refer you out. Now, a lot of people who don't know that in the trucking business, if you reach out to too many different agencies,
right,
after 5 attempts, they put you on a blacklist where you will be locked in with whatever quotes you got, you're stuck with. So there is no way around them, and you're just stuck with those quotes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So we always tell people, let us do the first attempt, let us get you the first quote, and then based on that quote, if you like the quote, then we can actually split the down payment in half. You come up with your half, we would provide you with the other half, and then that will tie you into factoring with us, which there's a lot of benefits there with us when it comes on the factoring. It's an 8-week program that allows you to pay us back in 8 weeks with no interest on the funds that we gave you for your down payment. So whatever I gave you, I just want back, within an 8-week time frame. After you sign up and you've been with us for 3 weeks, then we go ahead and start that payment plan with you, and then just pretty much take your loads as you factor. We also have our own load board, which is, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys do have your own load board.
We have a load board.
About that.
The load board's pretty good. I mean, it's almost like any other load board. I mean, some load boards are, really good, but a lot of them are hit or miss. I always instruct people that if you see a load you like or want, grab it. And if you're going to turn it down, I'd rather you turn it down, but at least it's in your hand and you have it. Then
now, correct me if I'm wrong. The TBS factoring load board has its own app and everything, right?
That is correct. Yep. We have our own app.
Kind of like Uber Freight and all that good stuff.
Yep, just like that. I mean, like I said, it's really, really easy. The program, the app you download, kind of is like CamScan. You just scan the document, upload it to the proper, proper file, and then hit submit, and it goes right to our portal. And then you'll get an alert letting you know that we received your documents, how many pages we received, and then we pretty much, pay you in a timely manner based on, the instructions you give us on how you want to be paid, either ACH, EFS, Comdata, or wire transfer.
Okay, I like the fact that there's options and
Mm-hmm.
that there's flexibility. Back to what the first question that I had saw there about TQL and the other guys out there using QuickPay, and
Yep.
if in fact, and like I said, I don't know, I've never done the research to be honest with you. So if in fact the QuickPay is literally 5 to 7 days, that's not quick. I mean, can somebody in the comments? Can somebody in the comments that maybe has had experience with QuickPay elaborate a little bit more on that? And then what we're going to do here in a few minutes is we're going to open up the questions, and that way Danny can answer those questions, about factoring for you. So, but yeah, so freaking handball, huh? When was the last time when was the last time you played handball?
Oh man, it's been a while since I played handball. I mean, I've been in Oklahoma 8 years. I go back every couple. And the funny thing is, okay, in my neighborhood and my building, there's smaller walls, and then there's poles in between. So we've actually
yeah.
We made up Chinese handball, which instead of hitting the wall first, you actually hit the floor first.
Yeah. I remember that too. I remember this. I played it as a kid, but we called it box ball. On the sidewalk, how you got in each individual tile. So you would stand in one box, have a box in the middle, and then the other guy would stand in that box, and you got to tap the ball back like volleyball in the box. Yep. You ever play that one?
Yeah, I played that.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'll throw you a little curveball. Have you played Skelsies?
No, okay. What is it? It might be called, I don't know. That's been so long.
Skelsies pretty much is, back when we, growing up, we would cut off the top of the quarter juice, and then you would put a penny in it and put wax, and then you would draw, pretty much like a square, and it'll have one in one angle, 2, 3, 4, and it'll go all the way.
Yes, okay. Yes, I remember that.
That's a classic, and
oh my God. You had to build up a hand for that ball, though, because I remember when I think I was like 7 or 8, when my older cousins would take me down to the park, like, because my grandmother used to live in Ozone Park, and I didn't find this out till I was like, 18, 19 years old, but we used, as kids, me, my brother, my cousins, we all used to play with John Gotti's kids, as they were, because they were teenagers, and we didn't even know until I got older, but we used to go to the park down the street. You familiar with Ozone Park?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Jamaica, Queens there off of Cross Bay Boulevard?
Of course.
You know where the McDonald's is there?
I usually go shopping over there. Oh, when
my grandmother used to live right down there, and we used to go to that park there in the corner and play handball. Nice. And man, the first time I played, my cousin taught me, and I was like, "Oh man, I couldn't do it." But when I got older as a teenager, boy, man.
That's why a lot of times you see people when they play handball, they got gloves on just to avoid.
Yeah, bro, gloves. They wouldn't let me use a glove. They was like, "No, you're gonna play the right way."
Right. Yeah, you're gonna play the right way. Yeah, you're gonna man up and give your hand a little beating there.
Yes. Anyway, so look, guys, I'm reading the comments here. I can see there's a lot of haters and trolls in here, which is welcome. I love the haters and the trolls because they motivate me to push harder. So, anybody that's got a real question about factoring or hit me with the questions. Let's go. We're taking questions now. It's all up to you. I'm reading the comments. I don't know if you're reading the comments on your end, Danny, but some of these comments are hilarious. One guy says handball, and he says he was doing something else. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's in the comments, man. Oh man, they're making so Jeremy. I'm going to read it. Jeremy Griggs is saying that TBS is a scam. Please explain to me. Because there's a lot of how many factoring companies would you say is out there right now?
Oh, there's over 200, maybe 300 factoring companies out there.
That many?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of small ones that are up and coming right now that, I mean, there's similar, no contracts, but they can't, as you grow, they cannot keep up with you, and they don't have the manpower to continue to, keep you up flow, continue to pay you, keep with the brokers and shippers. I mean, it's just as, I mean, they're small. They're a bunch of small guys that we're not worrying
All right,
about.
let me ask you this. TBS Factoring as a company, do you know where they rank with like other factoring companies? Like, I mean, because I don't know. I'm asking because these are questions that I would imagine somebody in the comments are going to ask or whatever. But where does TBS rank as a company against other companies?
I believe we're like top 3, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I know there's OTR, who's huge, and I know eCapital as well. I mean, you got RTS, you got a lot of bigger companies. I mean, we're not as big as they are, but we're one of their biggest competitors because a lot of people leave there and come to us due to the way they're treated, due to the lying of saying they're on a non-recourse program, and they actually aren't. They're actually on a recourse program. They're getting a lot of chargebacks. So I mean, you get what you sign up for with us because I give you the full contract before you even sign it. Where a lot of these other factoring companies, they give you what you want to see, right. And then once you sign, then you get the other part of that contract, and it's like, oh, by then you already signed your name on a concrete wall, and I mean, you're stuck there.
Okay. Hey, buddy, Larry's asking a question about what's the difference between a company that gives a guarantee and then the company that does recourse. Explain what that is.
All right. So the recourse is usually the rate's a lot lower than recourse, a lot lower in recourse, but you are taking the credit risk where, you got a company who's going to offer you, whatever they're going to offer, and, things go good. You're getting a 2%, not a recourse program. Things go good. And I mean, in this economy, companies go under all the time, and people don't understand where you're recourse and, business is going good and you're doing, 10 grand a week or 10, 20 grand a month. All of a sudden this company goes bankrupt. That funds now falls on that carrier, which can pretty much, put you out of business. To where the non-recourse, yeah, you got to do credit checks to verify some of these brokers and shippers to verify that they're good to actually call for. And then once we give the approval, you got the green light where if they do go bankrupt, we actually take the hit, where we either get, an attorney and go after the shipper or follow their bond and just deal with the insurance company, to where the carrier is actually protected when it comes down to the non-recourse. That's why our non-recourse may seem a little higher than normal in most factoring company, but that's what you get. The reason why you pay the higher fee is to make sure you are protected, to where if the economy hits the fan and that company goes under, you are protected.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, hey, Alex, I agree with you, man. There's a lot of trolls in here tonight talking smack, but that's social media. That's live feeds for you. Yeah, I see that someone said Little Dog is live talking about factoring. I don't know why Little Dog is live talking about factoring. He drives a damn milk truck, so he doesn't factor anymore. Or so yeah. So you can go watch Little Dog, and because Danny, I don't know if you know the history behind me, Little Dog, but it appears that lately every time I go live, he goes live and tries to steal the thunder, but that's okay. He's out there. He's out there holding down the milk game, and so yeah. So guys, what else you guys got for Danny? Questions about factoring, questions about all this stuff. Because like I said, I'm learning as we go through this. Because like I said, I don't know nothing about factoring, but I'm learning a lot as we go through. What's up, Mike? What's up there, Trucker Beetle Bailey? No, I got people with wrenches in here, and we're holding down the fort pretty much with these weirdo trolls, most of them. So Columbia Glider Dave. So if the bond is used up, TBS still pays no back charge. Can we elaborate on that, Danny?
Yeah, pretty much that's the non-recourse. Meaning and people don't understand. You got to understand this. If I pay you, and I'm paying you in advance to eventually receive funds in 30 days, 40 days, whatever the terms are, you need to make sure that you provide me with all the documents that pertain to that load.
Because so like bill of lading, fuel receipts, what else?
Receipts, the rate sheet, scale tickets. I mean, you name it. Anything that belongs to that specific load that will penalize us from being paid in full. Because you got to remember, granted, I paid you in full. Yeah, I took my fee, but I paid you in advance, hoping that that broker is going to pay me in full. Now, if they don't, due to your error, because you forgot to send me a lumper receipt or something to that extent, that's technically not my fault because I don't know. I was not on the load. I'm just paying you in good faith in advance to build that company, thinking that I'm going to get paid in full. So, I mean, you
So
got to
here,
make sure you send me what needs to be done to
okay.
get paid in full.
So somebody's asking, can any owner op do factoring?
Yes. Well, no, yes and no.
I mean,
There
because
is
you
a lot
gotta
of
have your own. You gotta have your own authority to factor, right?
right. You have to have your own authority in factoring, but there are a lot of they will do background checks. So for those of you who have tax liens and robbery charges and things to that extent, I mean, you can't really expect someone to want to pay you in advance in good
Okay.
faith, thinking that I'm gonna get paid. I mean, with your background, not the judge, but I mean, really, I mean, kind of expect that.
Here's a good question that I just thought of, and I'm sure I may have missed it in the comments, but what are some of the negative stories, or like you were saying before, things happen, mistakes happen. What are some of the things that have happened that you can tell me and tell everybody else, so that way maybe they could, if they're going to factor and get their own authority one day, build their own fleet, whatever. Some of the things that they can do, other than not forgetting to send in all the documentation. What are some of the other things that we can help to alleviate having issues with?
So one of the biggest things that I've come across in my career with TBS, and it was when I was in the collections end, was when you pick up a load from a broker or a shipper and you have that carrier packet requests bank information because they need to know how to pay you. But now it's on your judgment to either determine, will you factor? Because with TBS, you have the option to actually direct bill them or factor, where other factoring companies, you don't have that. That's not an option. So with us, to eliminate that nightmare of you being paid twice, once by us and once by that broker, is no. Ask the questions. What are your pay terms? Are you paying me in 3 days or are you paying me in 30 days? Because if they're going to pay you in 30 days, then you will know, okay, well, I'm going to factor. Do not give them your bank information. Provide them with what's called a notice of assignment or a change of payee, making that broker or shipper aware that you have a factoring company, that you're going to be factoring that load, you're going to be receiving payment from us, that broker or shipper needs to pay the factoring company.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Hey, just to address the trolls real quick about all these oil jokes. So let's just look. The truck is currently in the shop, and everything. And when I'm looking at the wrong camera, everything is being addressed prior to me hitting the road. So please, yes, keep on hating and hoping that truck breaks, and because you're gonna watch anyway. You're here, you're commenting, So yeah, Anyway, what else we got? Anybody else got any factoring questions or about setting up your own authority? Because like Danny said, TBS factoring will basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny. Basically, if you have your truck, EIN, company name, and a business checking account, TBS will do the rest.
Pretty much, yes, we will. I mean, the other part that you did miss is make sure. I mean, you got to have funds. Make sure you got money because nothing's free. So you got to make sure that you have an idea of, what you're getting yourself into. I mean, we provide all the information, so it's not like you're blindsided by anything, and we give you an idea of, the funds you're going to need based on, your insurance down payment is one of the most expensive, and then your plates. Your IRP and IFTA are the second most expensive thing when it comes onto this journey.
Now, does TBS help you get the plates and the insurance and all that stuff?
Yeah. So we help you with the insurance. We can also help with, with your IRP and IFTA. It does take a little bit of time because there is a lot of back and forth with, us and the client, and then us and the actual state, because we do all the processing. We send the state, what needs to be sent, and then we pretty much got to contact you, provide you with that information. So there is a lot of back and forth. We do also utilize to where if for whatever reason, if you don't like the timely manner that it may take, which we will tell you, all you need to do pretty much is just say, okay, well, what's an alternative route, which will give you the information for your state, where to go, what information you need, and then we'll just tell you, hey, call them. It can take you 24 to 48 hours, to where with us it may take a little longer, but we do all the processing, we take care of all the application, we make sure it's done correctly, for you. But it's really your option on you want to wait, 2-3 weeks for us to make sure it's done correctly and do it, or are you willing to do it on your own and hope that you do it correctly?
Okay, so I'm reading some of the comment questions. Let me go back here. Big D Productions is asking about the link. So if you guys want to go to the TBS factoring website, I do have an affiliate link right here in the top of the description box that you can click, and it'll help you get set up and started. Somebody was also asking, we talked about it before, but the time frame for payout was about 24 hours, you said, once all the
Yeah.
paperwork and documentation is scanned
Yes.
in, right?
That
So
is
yeah,
correct.
so about 20 guys, about 24 hours.
Mhm.
Once you scan in all your paperwork and documentation and it's correct, to about 24 hours.
Yeah, about 24. I mean, like I said, we try to tell you, send them in as early as possible. But if you do send them in later on in the afternoon, be prepared to be paid the next day.
Okay, and that's direct deposit into that checking account, right?
That is correct. Yep, it'll go right into your
Okay,
checking account. What I would highly recommend, which I always tell people, is on a Friday, due to us being open Monday through Friday,
right.
on a Friday, try sending your loads either Thursday night or early Friday morning to avoid, especially if you need money for the weekend, to avoid that issue and getting paid ACH. Request a wire transfer, get paid in 2-3 hours. Make sure you send them in as early as possible. You cannot expect to be paid if you send your load in at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, you can't expect that. It's almost impossible. Banks close at 5.
Okay. Got some more questions coming in here for you, Danny. So somebody asked, do they pay the IFTA? Set up and pay for the IFTA? And
Yes, we set up the IFTA and IRP. We can do it as well. But like I said, we also provide you with information for you to be able to do that on your own as well. And then that's just the option that you choose. We can do it for you, and we'll let you know the time frame, or we'll provide you with that information, and then you can do it on your own.
All right. So basically, let's just say that I'm the dummy that doesn't want to set up anything. Let's say I came to TBS to assist me in everything that I need: my plates, my insurance, my IFTA, whatever, all that stuff. How long from the time I pick up the phone and call you the first time would you say it takes to set all of that up? I mean, here I am. I have my truck, my trailer, my EIN, and a bank account. Here I am. I called you. About how long do you think it takes to get everything set up on your end so that I can get rolling?
All right. So my question to you now is, do you have the funds?
What do you mean by funds? What do you mean? Like, how much do I need?
To be able to pay for it? Right. Because everything costs money. So if you don't have, the funds to be able to purchase everything that you need to purchase, that can prolong time as well.
What do you mean? Like, you're talking about to purchase the plates and everything,
insurance, any permits that you want, any interstate permits if you're going to be staying local, or if you're going to be picking up and delivering within a certain state that requires those permits. I mean, a lot of that, you got to have the money for all of that. If you don't have the money, that can prolong everything. So
So basically, we're setting everything up, and you come and you say, "Hey, Matt, your plate's going to cost this much. Your IFTA's going to cost this much. This is how much you need for your permits, so forth and so on." And then I say, "Yes, here I have all of that money. Go. Now what? How long?"
So we're looking at, if we do everything as fast as possible, we can pretty much get you up and running in 45 days. The reason being is because it's really fast. Really fast. The only reason why it may take that long is because the FMCSA is going to make you wait 21 days anyway. So that right there eliminates 3 weeks of us having to pretty much be doing research, getting insurance quotes, and pretty much trying to do everything that we need to do. But a lot of people don't understand and don't realize, if you don't get insurance, you can't get your plates.
Right.
You can't get your plates.
Yeah, the insurance has to come first. So a minimum, obviously, minimum of 21 days to start the process and be done. Okay. Also, hey, another quick question. what about the deferred insurance program? What's that all about?
All right, so pretty much what we do is we get your information, your truck and trailer information, and we refer you out to insurance agencies that we work with, that work hand in hand with us. Progressive, and there's a few other companies that we work with, and we provide them your information, the truck and trailer, and then they run quotes. And then based on those quotes, we provide them to you and tell you, all right, Matt, well, this is the quote I got for you. Based out of your state, we'll determine on, what's what. And we have a chart that'll tell you, okay, you're in Florida, so Florida's premiums are a lot higher than if you was in, Indiana or Chicago. So for the average Joe, you're looking at X dollars, compared to this. And then once we get those quotes, more or less what you're working with. And I tell you, you can either pay the insurance in full on your own, or if you want to use the down payment program, which we will split in half, we tell you in advance, this will tie you into factoring. So there is no hidden to where, you sign something and then all of a sudden you signed up with us and then now you're stuck. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. I got you. I like the fact that TBS is going to go out there and help you get everything set up. I mean, do other factoring companies do that? I mean, is that the norm, or I
believe we're probably one of the only one that actually does permits. We also help with compliance to make sure that, when you get audit, once you go active, you're going to be on DOT's radar. So you can't be audited usually within the first 90 days of you being active, which we do help with that. We have a step-by-step process where you can purchase the smaller package and somewhat do it yourself and just match and mimic exactly what we gave you with you providing your information on it. Or we can just say, hey, if you don't got the time or the head for it, we can do everything for you for a little extra money, but we do everything for you to really prepare you for that audit. People really don't understand and realize that how important that audit is. That's either going to make you or break you.
Gotcha. How about give me a little bit of history about TBS as a company? How long have they been around? What's the story? What's the 411?
All right, so TBS has been in business 51 years. The dad of one of the, pretty much the owner, but the dad used to have a truck, and he was a truck driver for a very long time, and then all of a sudden he wanted to pretty much give back to the truck drivers, knowing the struggle, knowing how expensive things are. So he pretty much started truckers bookkeeping service at first, doing the IFTA taxes and the quarterly taxes and doing things to that extent.
Okay.
And then they got a whiff of factoring and how it works in regards to paying you in advance. We also got to deal with the bank, things to that. So they did their homework and learned their research on how that works, and then eventually started to give back. And everything started with recourse. That was just the way it was. And then after a while, I was like, well, let's try non-recourse. Let's see how that works. Where
what was the recourse thing again, and non-recourse? One more time for just my
the recourse. You take the recourse. The carrier takes the credit risk, where the rates are usually a lot lower. Non-recourse, TBS takes the credit risk, where the rates are a little higher. So I mean, you got to look at it like this: out of $1,000, for you to take the risk, we'll get $20. You get $980. Okay. For us to take the risk, we'll get $40. You get $960. But we now take the risk to where, like I said, push come to shove, economy goes bad, that business goes, that company goes out of business. We take the hit where it doesn't affect you.
Gotcha. I'm seeing that there's a bunch of new people popping in the live feed here. Can we revisit the difference between TBS and the other factoring companies out there one more time?
Of course. Yeah, of course. So with us, we don't require financial statements. Okay. So a lot of these factoring companies require financial statements. Now, if you have a hobby or anything to that extent, they're going to see those financial statements. They're going to see that in your statements. Plus, that's also for them to verify that you are actually factoring everything through them. So where we don't care what you're doing. We actually give you the option to pick and choose which brokers, which shippers you actually want to factor, and those that you don't want to factor. Okay?
Awesome. Does anybody else here in the comments have any other questions about factoring or setting up your own authority? Because like we had said, TBS is going to help you, or I should say assist you in setting up your authority. Because like I said before, in order for you to do all this, obviously, you're going to want to get your own authority. The only and then correct me if I'm wrong, the only reason that a person would need to go and factor is because they're getting their own authority, right?
Mainly to avoid cash flow, because I mean, when you're getting your authority in the beginning, you are considered a liability. Brokers and shippers are not going to want to work with you because you're the new guy. So what factoring does, it helps you with eliminating that waiting process of waiting for that broker or shipper to pay you. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I did a load today, I'd like to be paid today or at least tomorrow,
Yeah,
not
because
wait 30 days.
yeah, 30 days. Sometimes it's even longer than that, especially if you have a claim or something like that.
Right.
Hey, explain that. What happens? Okay, so what happens if, let's say, I'm pulling a reefer load and I've got a load of lettuce or whatever, and the shipper, turns down partial of the a partial piece of the load or whatever. Now the load has a claim on it. Once I'm finished with that load, and I scan in all that paperwork and it has a claim on it, what happens then? Does TBS still pay the driver?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll verify with the broker or the shipper what the claim is on, how much the claim is insurance going to actually cover it, things to that extent. I mean, we'll definitely verify. We're just not going to pay you and then, throw money at you and say, yeah, here's your money, and then we're not getting paid. I mean, that's not realistic. So we will confirm with that broker or shipper to verify how much the claim is insurance involved. I mean, we contact all parties, so we'll contact the carrier. We even contact the insurance company just to confirm that everything is going as smooth as possible, that the loads will pay out, that, we can actually pay the driver because the insurance is actually going to cover it. Now, if there's any speculation on that, I mean, then we will tell the carrier, no, that, due to the claim, we can't pay you because insurance isn't going to cover it. So, I mean, he needs to deal with the insurance company then and just kind of take care of that on his own.
Gotcha. Here's another quick question. Somebody was asking where to go. Somebody was asking, what's the broker credit check process? And what does that have to do with factoring?
Well, you definitely want to check credit on brokers because, I mean, you don't want to haul for a broker who, one, doesn't pay their bills or doesn't pay their bills in a timely manner. But the process is easy. You can either log on to our website with your username and password and check credit there, or you can give a call and you can either ask for the credit department, or based on the rep who signs you up, they can do credit checks as well. And it just takes 2 seconds to give a courtesy call, provide that, that rep with with the MC or DOT number for that broker. We run credit, get you approved, and then tell you, hey, you got the green light, do your thing.
Gotcha. Let's see here. What else we got? A couple more coming in. Let's talk about how the rates are determined and the freedom to choose what you factor with TBS.
Right. So with that, with the freedom to be able to choose, because I mean, if you got two companies, both credit approval, both two good companies, pay their bills, but one's paying in 2 days or 5 days, the other one's going to pay in 30 days or 45 days. But they're both good, they both pay their bills. We tell you, well, why factor the one that's going to pay in 5 days or 3 days? If you're willing to wait, you can actually bill them directly and wait those days to get paid in full. So you're not having to worry about a factoring fee, to where the other company that's going to make you wait 30 days or 30 plus days, you definitely want to send those in. So, to avoid cash flow.
Okay. Someone's asking a question. I saw it before. It's up there in the top. What about like unexpected fees, or not fees, but what about unexpected expenses? Like breakdowns and fuel cards. And I mean, does TBS offer any assistance for like if the truck breaks or a tow bill or fuel discounts and stuff like that?
Yes, sir. So we do have what's called all loads in advance. And pretty much, we want to see receipts. We want to see the wear and tear, what happened to the truck if it's in the shop. We want to see what that is. And then based on the load, if you're on a load, we can actually pay you in full for that load. So you have actually, funds to be able to get your truck out of the shop. And then once you, do the load and process it, we actually pretty much work with you on, charging the load back, and we break it in portions to where it doesn't affect you, to where if I paid you, now I want my money back. No, it don't work like that. We actually allow you to work out a payment plan to pay us back slowly, because your truck was in the shop. So there's no way you got funds to just pick up and then right where you left off from. You had to blow money on, on your truck and the wear and tear that that was caused.
Gotcha. Anyway, let's see here. Does anybody? Let me check the comments real quick.
Sure.
Let's see. What does the year limit of okay, here's a good question.
Okay.
Does TBS have any restrictions on the year of the truck that you purchase?
No, I mean that really doesn't have anything to do with us. That's going to be more the FMCSA, where based on how old the truck is will determine on what you need. For example, ELDs are required, I believe, from 2002 and up.
Right.
Anything prior to 2002, you don't need an ELD. But no, we don't care how old or new your truck is. I mean, that's really a personal preference on that driver or that owner.
Okay. What about like with the brokers and stuff like that? Does TBS help you guys, or I mean, does TBS help the driver like learn which brokers to deal with? I mean,
we in our agreement, we give you the heads up that TQL, CH Robinson, JD Hunt, that they do offer quick pays, and we give you that heads up in advance that they offer quick pays. We will match them and honor them. So even if our agreement is a non-recourse at 4%, where JD Hunt offers 1.5%, we'll actually honor that and still pay you within 24 hours. Or if you request a wire transfer, you get paid in 3 hours. We will honor that 1.5% on the non-recourse.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Here's a silly. Well, I don't want to say it's a silly question, but here's a question. Someone's asking, what is the process to quit TBS? If you're signed up with TBS, I remember you were saying in the beginning, there's no long-term contract. So how does it work? Is it a month to month? I mean, is it a yearly thing?
It's a month to month, and every factoring company or any bank, anyone that pays in advance or provides you with money, they do what's called a UCC filing. Okay, it's called a uniform commercial code. Okay, and that'll tie you to us in case of, if loads aren't paid in full and you still need to pay us back, we will actually work out an agreement with you to pay us back funds that technically weren't paid in full from that brokerage that will due to, whatever the case may be, claims, lumper receipts, whatever. And every company, so we will always do a UCC filing, and to lift to pretty much break contract. What we do is make sure that there is a zero balance.
Right.
So we make sure that everything is paid in full before you actually can break contract. But then we'll just say, hey, send us a 30-day notice. Make sure there is no AR. We will verify that everything is going to be paid in full. And then once we're aware that is going to be, the case, then we'll say, hey, just got to pay for the UCC filing, and then get that lifted, and you're ready to rock and roll. You can go wherever you want.
Somebody asked a goofy question: is TBS an LGBTQ friendly company?
I'm gonna say yes, I guess.
Oh my God, bro. Okay, let's see.
That was good.
Someone's asked, does TBS have flatbed opportunities? I mean, it's a factoring company, so it doesn't really matter what you do, whether you do reefer, dry van, or flatbed. So I mean,
but Matt, to kind of piggyback off of that, we actually have dispatchers that are included when you sign up for factoring, that we actually throw dispatchers at you, especially on an owner operator just starting. We provide you with a dispatcher, or we'll give you a list of dispatchers. You call the dispatchers, find out which one's going to benefit you and your company, and then that dispatcher will pretty much do the legwork for you in regards to finding you loads, dealing with the brokers and shippers. Because remember, you being new, brokers and shippers are not going to want to work with you. So we will say, hey, I highly recommend you get with a dispatcher or one of our dispatchers for 2 months or 3 months, just to kind of
hold on. So basically, what you're saying here is that once everything's set up and you're on the road rolling, TBS has a dispatch team that's going to search TBS's load board, or all the load boards?
All load boards, all brokers, all shippers. They're not necessarily a TBS dispatching team. They're third parties that pretty much work with us hand in hand. They send us referrals, we take care of them. So I mean, we piggyback off each other, but we have a list of dispatchers that we say, here's this list of dispatchers, call everyone, see what their rates are, or how they work, and then based on which one's going to benefit you, that's the one you can sign up with, and then help pretty much do the legwork for you. All you got to do is drive.
Okay. All right. So here's a question that I saw it. I forgot to ask it.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up with all the comments. I mean, I got a bunch of goofballs in the comments tonight. We're having a lot of fun. I can see a lot of laughing, goofing around. But somebody said, what would be one of the reasons that a driver that's set up with TBS to factor and all that good stuff would stop using? I mean, is there a point in the? I'm guessing once the owner operator or the company, the fleet reaches the point maybe where they have enough capital to cover the drivers' paychecks and stuff like that, that they don't need to factor anymore? I mean, or what would be the reason that a driver and or fleet would stop factoring?
There's multiple reasons. I mean, the two biggest reasons that I can think of off the top of my head would be either they've grown to where they've built enough, funds to where they don't necessarily need us anymore, or they're working with brokers and shippers that are actually paying them directly in a timely manner, where there's no purpose to factor. So that can be a reason why they do sign up, and then you're dealing with a company who's paying you in 2 days. You build a relationship where there is no point to factor, and that's why someone will sign up and then not ever factor because of that, that situation. Or
Gotcha.
I've noticed as well in my career where if you're hauling cars, a lot of cars are paid on delivery. So I know a lot of cars won't factor or won't utilize factoring because of that it's paid on delivery.
Gotcha. Well, Jeremy is asking about taxes. I've got the answer for that one, actually. I've got a tax company that does taxes, and if you call them up and mention my name, you're going to save some money on your taxes getting done. It's in the description box of my video here. Let me double check to make sure it's in there. Yeah, it's at the bottom of my description box. Just click on that link. It's a company called My Tax Agency. Go in there, sign up, mention the little guy, and you'll receive a discount on your services. Okay, that's taxes. Also, somebody asked, here's a good one. Are you ready for this one, Danny?
I'm ready.
This is a good one, dude. Get ready. This is an amazing question. The question is TBS factoring going to help out with the invasion at Area 51?
I'm going to say no on that one. But if you need guidance how to get there, I'm pretty sure I can give you an address.
Oh, you got an address?
I mean, I can Google it and figure it out for you.
Oh, you're going to Google it? Okay. Oh, man. Let's see. Tiffany, we just answered that question. What's the reason TBS stopped working? Okay, it's the reverse of that question. So what would be a reason that TBS would cut off a driver and say, hey, we can't work with you anymore?
Mainly based on the profanity or how that person actually talks to one of our reps. I mean, we're professional. So, I mean, you got to normally understand, and we get it. You may get frustrated due to whatever circumstances, funds, things to that extent, but you got to be professional. And I get the frustration of some carriers. They do get frustrated. They got to pay bills and, things like that. But you still got to talk to somebody like how you would like to be talked to. And if you're going to badmouth somebody and use certain language towards reps and it's consistent, yeah, we will be okay with, breaking contract with you and letting you go.
Gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. Let's see here if I got any. Okay, here's a good question. How does TBS factoring help with getting lower rates?
What we always do is, based on what you sign up for, we can see your revenue. We can see what you're doing monthly. So usually after 3 months, we'll recalibrate on those numbers, what you're doing month to month, and then pretty much try to get you a lower rate with the same agreement with the either non-recourse or recourse. And then just try to get you a better rate based on what you're doing monthly.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we also are willing to sometimes match agreements if you got offered a lower agreement somewhere else. But you also got to look at it. You can't expect 2% on a non-recourse if you got no aging report. You got no numbers to show me. Not realistically. There's no way in the world I can get you a 2% without showing me your monthly revenue.
All right. So with that being said, how much does TBS factoring charge the driver to factor? And explain because I think like some places do like a 0.5% or whatever. So now I'm not the smartest man in the world, but let's just say, like, what are the rates for TBS?
So normally our non-recourse starts at 4%, sometimes 4.5. Depends on, like I said, the rep you get. I mean, we're always willing to negotiate and work with the carrier based on rates, because everyone gets fixated with rates. People really, I mean, it's a $10 difference if you go rate wise based on how much you're sending in. I mean, it's not really much of a difference. It's really the risk you're willing to take. But I mean, we can always start at 4%. I mean, we can go down to 3.75 on a non-recourse. Anything 3.5%. I mean, I need to see numbers. I need to see what you're doing to be able to provide that to you. And then based on how much revenue you're doing, how many trucks you got, I mean, I can get you as low as 2%. But like I said, it really depends on which route you want to go. If you want to go the recourse route, you can go that route, take the risk, and get the 2% right off the jump, or take the 4% and work your way down and build your revenue and over.
So basically, that's just that 4% just comes off whatever the line haul is, right?
Whatever dollar amount you send me. So if you send me 5 loads and they're all, it comes out to $5,000, we're taking 4% of that $5,000.
Okay. Somebody was asking, what's the largest rate con you've ever factored that you know of?
From what I've seen, I believe the largest one we've seen was about 50,000. We had a connection with the Super Bowl, and we were dealing with the company with the Super Bowl, and they ended up factoring with us. And they were actually a broker, not an actual carrier. We can actually factor loads for brokers as well to avoid them getting paid from their shippers. We will actually pay that broker and their carriers as well.
Yeah, Michael Holloway says, "Damn, you guys beat this horse to death." Well, like I said, I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know nothing about factoring, and as we go through this live feed and this interview, whatever you want to call it, I'm learning and I'm reading a lot of questions that make sense. So, yeah, we're beating this horse to death, and we're getting as much information as we can. So, grab your whiteboard, your notepad, and start writing this stuff down, people. Someone's asking, what is 4% of 2,838?
You really want me to do that?
You got a calculator? Hold on. You got a calculator out here? Hold on. Let me see if I can figure that out on a calculator.
What was that? 2,000 what?
4% of $2,838. Man. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Good question.
Columbia Collided. What you got it? You got it? You figured it out?
Yeah.
Look, I'm stupid when it comes to math. I suck at math. Everybody knows that I'm not enough. How do you even do that on a calculator? So let's see. 200 or 2,000. Where'd it go? Where'd that comment go? Holy shit. Wait a minute. Oh, where'd it go? Somebody delete it?
All right, let's do this. I'm going to answer this question.
$2,838. What is it, divided by or times?
It's times.
Times 0.4?
I believe it's 0.04.
0.04, right? Yeah, 0.04. And the answer is $113.52. That's not bad. That's not that bad. I mean,
you got to remember this. We're getting that to pay you now for us to wait 30, 40, 50 days, 60 days, whenever that broker pays.
Well, here's another good question. What are the average wait times to get that you guys get paid from the brokers? What's the shortest and what's the longest you have to wait?
Our shortest is usually about 15 days. Our longest, if you're going to be doing oil, the oil can go to 190 days, sometimes 200 days. Holy shit. The oil company you work. I mean, the average is usually about 120 days when it comes down to oil companies.
My God, that's so. I mean, that's so 120 days. That's what 5 months, whatever. So I mean, that's a lot of. I mean, think about that, guys. Let's just. I mean, if you had to wait that long and you didn't have a factoring company, obviously you would need an in-house team of people in accounting to handle that, because that's a lot of backlog. I mean, that's a lot of, to keep up with, 5 months, especially if you're doing those same type of loads over and over again. That's a lot to keep up with, So let's just say, like I said, $2,838 and only $113.52 has to go to the company to handle that. My God, I mean, that's worth it. I
That's tough.
think, right?
I mean, that's clearly worth it. I mean, you like I said, we're paying you now.
If you didn't have the accounting team, obviously you're just starting out with your own authority. You got like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 trucks in the fleet. I mean, yeah, I mean, damn, that's insane. Because I know this. There's a lot of guys that are young, getting out there with their own authority, and they're going straight to the oil fields with 1 or 2 trucks. You know,
it's because of the revenue, the dollar amount those loads are. I mean, those loads are high dollar loads.
Right.
The bad part of it is, it's the waiting. It's the 90 days or 120 days of having to get to wait to get paid. That's the biggest issue.
Does TBS Factoring have any tax write-offs that they can use for their taxes?
Yeah, what we do is based on how you when you when you start to when you stop or year to end, we actually run a report to show all your numbers, what we've done, what you've done, minusing everything. We provide that to you, at the end of the year or when you call and request it, we'll provide it to you so you can actually file your taxes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, as a factoring company in a whole, with all the different amenities that TBS Factoring offers, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to start my own fleet anytime soon, probably never. But if I was to start my own fleet, I think TBS Factoring would definitely be a good company to choose. And not that I'm trying to toot my own horn here, but if you guys are going to look into starting your own authority and all that good stuff, right there in the very top of the description box, okay, in this video, the description box, it says it right there. If you guys want the link for the TBS Factoring website, just click on that link and it'll take you straight over there, and it'll help you get started. So, other than that, Danny, what else you got for me? Is there anything else that we didn't talk about? I mean, I think we might have. I think we covered all the bases.
Yeah, I mean, we covered the bases
again,
on carriers. I mean, just to kind of throw out there, for those of you brokers that have your authorities, we can actually help you get a broker authority as well. So we don't just only do carriers, we do brokers as well. We can help you. The process is long, but we can actually help you if you are a type of carrier who wants to do household goods and be doing moving furniture and things like that from one house to another. We can actually help with that authority as well. It's just a longer process. I would just say this: call us, ask the questions you need to ask. We provide the information with no problem. You don't need to sign up with us or any of that, but we do try to build, a business relationship with you. We try to get you to, to trust us because we're not a scam company. We're not out there to get your money. So, go out and we told you.
Everybody's got to make money, but for the services that you guys offer, I think that, like you said, starting out at 4%, some people may think that's a high number, but, we did the calculations and, to handle all that in-house office work that the driver is not going to have time for unless he has a fleet of like 10 trucks and now he's in the office handling it, maybe possibly, but still.
But even
you got to wait that long and have all that paperwork, and oh my God,
you also got to look like this. A lot of these companies who have multiple trucks, they're so busy, they don't have time to deal with paperwork. They just want somebody else to deal with it. So they will factor us and they will send it to us where we take care of all that. We take care of all the paperwork. You don't have to create an invoice. You don't got to do any of that. Just send me the rate sheet and the bill of lading, fill out our Exhibit B, which gives me instructions on how to pay you and who you haul for. And that's it.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Somebody was asking, is this live feed paid for by TBS Factoring? No, it's not. This is not a sponsored or paid video. This is a legit, video for myself and, you guys to put out the information. I am not sponsored by TBS. I was on the Truck Boss Show, and the Truck Boss Show is affiliated with TBS Factoring. But yeah, so this, like I said, this is just information for you guys. If you're looking to get your own authority, you're gonna need to factor in the very beginning until you have what do you call it? Enough capital in the bank to cover you. Like you said, some of the wait times could be up to
Mhm.
120 days. That's insanity because, you know, what if you forget something? You're waiting and then you don't get paid and you forgot. And I mean, it's just that's a mound of paperwork, I would imagine.
Yeah. And like I said, we help with, I mean, everything. We give you a guideline. I mean, we pretty much become, or the rep you speak to becomes your right hand. I mean, they give you
Gotcha,
all the
gotcha.
tools you need, all the information. I mean, if we don't have it, we'll send you to outside sources that may have it or may at least be able to provide that to you. So, I mean, not everything is internally, but at least we give you all the guidance to what to prepare for, what to expect, to really get you to make sure you're successful. I mean, the terminology I always use is, I get you set up, and then I kind of take off the training wheels and I let you kind of float your own boat. And
Gotcha, gotcha,
remember,
gotcha,
I'm
gotcha.
always here in your back pocket, and if you need me, call me.
Here-
I've
Here's an,
been
here's
doing
another
it.
good question for you. I mean, like I said, we're going to keep this going because we see a lot of good questions. I'm not trying to take up too much more of your time, but
Not at all.
yeah. So, does TBS factoring put a lien on the driver's authority in the contract?
No, there's no liens. I mean, the UCC filing is what's going to tie you to us, but it's not a lien. So it's the UCC pretty much is just ties you to us to make sure that we're paying you in full, we get paid in full, and there's a business relationship between the parties. If for
Okay.
whatever reason there is any type of chargebacks, I mean, we'll even work with you if there is a chargeback. I mean, we don't take
Okay.
any loads. We can, if it's a $5,000 chargeback, we can actually do a payment plan with you to take it, based on how you want, either per load, per week. We're willing to work with you, even if for whatever reason you accidentally get paid from the broker and now you just been paid twice. We still are willing to work with you. We don't just
Gotcha.
take it out of your account and then kind of set you up for failure. It happens all the time.
Gotcha. Oh, here's another good one. So you said that in the beginning, most drivers are set up at the rate of about 4%.
That is
Now,
correct.
as the driver with you 6, 7 months, a year,
Mhm.
how does that driver get lower rates, and how does that work?
So what we do is we run a month, pretty much run your AR and what you've been doing pretty much month to month. And then I mean, I don't do it, but one of the teams will pretty much run all those numbers, get a calculation, and then based off of, what you've been doing will determine on, the rates. The rates will never go up. So if you're at 4%, you either stay there or you're going to get lower, but they will never go up. And like I said, it's going to be really on how that your AR, pretty much what you do month to month.
And the maximum starting rate is 4% at TBS. Is that where
Well,
is that the
4%
baseline?
on a non-recourse, and that, like I said, that rate is always negotiable. I mean, we can even go down to 3.75. I mean, but like I said, it really depends on the rep, what you're doing, what type of truck. Because if you got a cargo van or a sprinter van, I mean, the chances of you getting it's the bottom of the barrel. I mean, it's harder work. You really need to do your homework. You need to know who you hauling for. I mean, you got to do your research when it comes on to those type of trucks,
Okay.
or those type of vehicles. So it's going to be a little bit harder to give you 3.5% if you're hauling a sprinter van and you got no type of connections, no brokers, no shippers. I mean, you just got a van and you're ready to rock and roll. It's almost impossible to get you that rate. But even 4% with you having no one, still pretty good.
All right. Now, what's the lowest rate that you've seen at TBS factoring, and how long? I mean, okay, so what's the lowest rate you've seen, and what do you got to do to get to that level?
Well, pretty much the numbers. I mean, what you're doing, the AR you're doing. I mean, we got companies that are doing, 10, $20 million, a year. With numbers like that, I mean, we're going to get you the lowest possible. I've seen 1.5% on a non-recourse.
Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, I mean, so 1.5 non-recourse, and then what was the other?
The
The
other one's
other.
recourse. I mean, they start at 1.25%, but it's a recourse. Here's the catch. And this is to give you that why, so you don't feel like we're a scam. We let you know those rates will fluctuate. They will go up based on the age of the invoice. The older the invoice gets, the higher that rate will go. It will stop at 4% on a recourse. Invoice isn't paid by 60 days. It will be charged back to you.
Gotcha. All right. Well, look, I think we've answered. Let me just double check to make sure we ain't got nothing else crazy to ask. Uh, okay, I think we've done it. Look, Danny, I appreciate you coming in tonight.
Of course.
and
Thank you
answering
for
all
having
these
me.
questions and teaching me something about TBS. And like I said, if I was going to start my own fleet, my own authority, I think TBS would be a great place to start. I've heard a couple of stories from other drivers out there that I've talked to over YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot about other factoring companies out there and some of their rates.
Mhm.
So I'll give you one more question. So with TBS,
Uh-huh.
how competitive are the rates from TBS versus some? Because you said you guys are probably in the top three.
Right.
So what are some of the competitive? Is it competitive? I mean,
It's definitely competitive because everybody, like I said, everybody gets fixated with, most of those factoring companies throw 2% on the table like hotcakes, but they don't explain to you that you're signing up on a recourse program. So you are taking the risk that loan will fall back to you if it's not paid in a timely manner. And there's a 90-day, notice that you got to provide to them if you want to leave. And a lot of times, the minute you start seeking other factoring companies or seeking to leave, you pretty much put bad blood in the water with these other factoring companies, and then they don't want to work with you. They become childs, and it's just they act like children and don't want to work with you no more. And then that's it.
yeah.
Then you're
Somebody said factoring is not a scam. Generally speaking, just a poor business decision. My little rebuttal to that is, I mean, if you're a new driver coming in with your own authority, what you like I said, you've been doing this a while. So, what kind of capital would you need in the bank to
to get
float
started.
yourself and not factor? What would be a good guesstimate number that you would need in the bank to not factor?
That's a really, I mean, I would say you at least need 10 grand or more because, like I said, you're gonna do the average is 275 a mile, sometimes $3 a mile, maybe 375, depends on the broker. So
Okay.
it depends on where you're going. It's really determined on that load. So it's if you're doing $1,000 on a load and you're doing that pretty consistent, I mean, that's going to be, $1,000 a day, 5 days a week. I mean, you got 10 grand already right there, still having to wait 30 days to get
Yeah,
paid.
and like you said, you're paying for your fuel, you're paying your tolls,
Right.
you're doing all those other things. That 10 grand is going to go very fast. I would imagine you need even more than that. I
Yeah.
mean, if
Yeah.
because you said that about average, you're 15 days at the lowest, 120 at the
Mhm.
highest that you're waiting to get
Yeah.
paid. So if you're on an average of 30 to 60 days waiting to get paid from that broker, I
Yeah.
mean, you're going to need way more than 10 grand. Now that I'm thinking about it. And,
Essentially,
so having a factoring company, in my opinion, not that I'm trying to be an idiot, I'm not trying to, who said that question? Where'd it go? MG Jackson 68. I don't think that, as a new guy starting out, if you don't have that type of capital, having a factoring company like TBS is not a poor business decision because what else are you going to do if you don't have the type of capital,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
So,
it's definitely not a poor decision making. I always tell people, with us at least, you don't have to factor everything. So that's going to be your business decision on putting us in your back pocket for those companies that are going to make you wait. You can factor those. And then those companies that are not going to make you wait, you got the option to actually bill them directly. So where, yes, you need a factoring company, but then you don't because you can utilize us because you don't have to factor everything through us.
so are
So
you okay? So what you're saying is that not every load needs to be factored through the
no,
factoring
not
company.
every broker. So you can't pick and choose which invoices or which loads. So for example, if you got CH Robinson, okay, you send me one load for CH Robinson, you pretty much need to send me them all unless you wait for that invoice to be paid. And then you request a release form to be, pretty much to break the agreement between, us, the parties. And then you can go ahead and direct bill them.
Okay, I got you.
It really
Makes
depends
sense.
on how you want. Like I said, the biggest issue is explanation. If you're not
Gotcha.
explaining in detail what's what, it is so easy to either misunderstand or take things the wrong way, and then just pretty much it's like the phone secret or whatever it's called, where you
Yeah,
say
no,
one
I see
thing
what
and
you're
then it
saying.
kind of gets long, and next thing you know, it's a whole different story. It's pretty much the
Gotcha.
same.
All right. Well, look, hey, Danny, I appreciate you coming in tonight and chatting with
Of
me and
course.
teaching me a few things. I've definitely got a lot out of this conversation, and I'm sure I'm reading some of the comments. A lot of people are getting a lot out of this conversation. So we definitely did something nice and good tonight for the people.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate it. And you know, when we have more information or an update or whatever, or because I want to come into the office and meet you.
Yes, please, please.
If you guys don't know, like I said, when I was on the Truck Boss show, I was able to actually go in and see the inner workings of TBS Factoring, and when you walk into the main office cubicle area, okay, they have all their cubicles, you know, in the center of the room, so to speak. But on the outside of the room, the perimeter of the room has this little, it's like a track, it's like a road, like, you know, laid down, not
Yes.
like road, but like, you know what I mean, on the carpeting. The carpeting looks like road, like lanes, and they have all these little bikes and tricycles and scooters that you guys could actually ride around the office. Now, I'll give you one more question. I know we're dragging this
Don't
out,
worry.
but
Yeah, ask all the questions you want.
yeah, but so like, how often are you on the scooters and the bicycles goofing around in the office?
I'm actually not. I mean, I don't with being now on the sales team. I mean, we're helping clients literally every hour at the hour. Phones are constantly ringing. So I may, if you do see me on a scooter, because I'm taking it from my cubicle to the actual bathroom, and I'm being lazy and I just don't want to walk.
So basically, what you're saying is when I come to the office, you're not going to race me around the office.
I mean, I can. I'm pretty sure we can get on the the three wheelers and race around the office. I'm pretty sure.
We will be racing around the offices. That's what I'm telling you. We will be racing.
All right, then that race is on. Just let me know when you're there, and
it's on like Donkey Kong, bro. So be ready.
Hey, just pick your poison. Which one you want? Either the scooter, the three wheeler, or the actual bike.
Look, either way, someone's cubicle's getting crashed into. So get ready.
Hey, yeah, that's not easy. That's not a hard thing to do.
It will not be a fair race. I can tell you that right now. So
I am down. Let me know.
I'm thinking, you know, for the YouTube video entertainment aspect of it, we're gonna have to get a couple more people involved and make you know, too bad we couldn't make it like a figure eight and do like a demolition derby. That would be hilarious.
I'm pretty sure we can get a couple people from the Truck Ball show to get in, and we can do like a Mario Kart.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm pretty sure we can figure something out.
You know, because like I said, I was there at the TBS Factoring offices, the main office there in Oklahoma City. And not only do they have all those little bicycles and goofy, you know, the scooters, they've got their own, you know, the break room is like, bro, the break room. Tell them about the break room.
All right, so our break room is pretty much like a diner, just like a high-end diner. I mean, you got your your tables, and you got lighting, you got music, you got high-end coffee machines to build cappuccinos and things like that. I mean, you got like a Starbucks diner combination.
Yeah, basically their break room. Like when I walked in there and you know, the people from the Truck Wash show were showing me around, and I was like, "Are you serious? This is the office. You know, this is the atmosphere that you guys have in your office." I mean, and then there was also a room where people could, like a quiet room or something like that.
Yeah, you got a massage room where you can go in and just if you're having if you get a hold of a client and the client's just having a bad day, we always tell people don't take it personal. It's nothing personal. You always got to look at it in that driver's perspective. He's in the truck multiple hours of the day, probably not talking to many people. He's a little lonely. Somebody cut him off. Something happened. And you're the first person he speaks to. So you may get the worst end of that stick, but at the same time, you become that turn to, because granted, you get the worst end, but he needs to talk to somebody. Which
But like I said, I mean, like TBS Factoring has been around for, you said 55 years, right? Something like that.
51 years.
51 years, okay. And being able to go there and actually see the office and how the environment, okay, the environment there wasn't like your typical office filled with cubicles. I mean, it was really all of it looked like it was all open door policy.
Yep.
All of the managers and the VPs and everything had the windows in there. So it's not like just a door. You could see into their office. I mean, everything was all open. I mean, it just.
We're definitely not corporate. We're definitely more of a, like I said before, we're family.
Laid back,
laid back, real laid back, family. you know, and you know how family is. I mean, if you got any brothers and sisters, granted, you may not get along with each other, but it's family. You know, we
Yeah,
treat each
I
other
know how
with
it is. Yep,
respect, you know, and
you're
we
damn right. You're damn right, brother.
of
Well, look, hey, Danny, I appreciate you coming in. We're gonna do this again
course.
another time.
Yes, sir.
And you know, thank you everybody for tuning in. I do apologize if I missed your questions, but I think we answered a lot of them. I mean, hell, we've been live for now almost 2 hours, I think, or something. So
Yeah.
it's time to shut it off and get other stuff done. So once again, Danny, thank you for coming in. If you guys
Thank
want
you. Appreciate
information
it.
or to reach out to you know, TBS Factoring, go ahead and click the link in the description box. It's right at the top of the description box. Click that link and get over there and get started. And stay tuned for the video coming out later tonight, first thing tomorrow morning, okay?
Yes, yes, yes. Tune
And
in,
we're out
guys.
of here. Later, Danny. We're out of here,
Later.
guys. Later.